So today we're getting back into our RPG Elite Philosophy for Life series, and we're returning back to RPG Elite quality number 7, which is RPG Elite's get together to play the game. Now I've broken this up into 3 videos. First video was on destination, second was on discipline, and today's video, which will be the last in this 3-part series. So we're going to be taking a look at the third aspect of this, which is determination. Let's go ahead and get into this right now, and don't forget to stay until the end where we'll have the question of the vid, because I really want to hear from you guys on this one. I love these kind of videos, and I love reading what you guys say on these videos. And sometimes I go back and reread things and I'm like, I probably need to address that in this video, that video. So you guys are actually helping. This channel is, for those of you who are a part of it, ours. All right, so let's get rolling with this and hit that transition. Determination. Well, let's get to a definition of this so we're all on the same page as far as what I'm talking about here. So let's lay it out right now. Determination is to have a firmness of purpose. It's having a resolute mindset to see things through. So basically, it's not giving up at the first sign of hardship, trouble, difficulty, because that's how you know whether somebody is determined or not. You can even be disciplined and have a destination, but without determination, it's not going to work. This golden chain of qualities are all tied together and interconnected. And the way that you can be disciplined is that, hey, you can be disciplined until things go wrong. Then all of a sudden, discipline gets thrown right out the window. And this is what happens to a lot of people in a lot of things. They're disciplined until things don't go their way, until difficulties, until roadblocks. Then, well, they're done. And then they end up being quitters. Now, what's the difference? What's the difference between a quitter and a winner, right? A quitter is somebody who stops doing something because it got difficult. I'm not talking that you stopped doing something and you figured out that wasn't the way to do it and you went another. That's still a winner attitude right there. I'll get to that in a second. No, what I'm talking about is somebody who quits simply because they don't want things to be difficult. All right, well, they're not living in real life, because that's not real life. This is real life, and adults know better. That is a very infantile way to look at the world. Now, what's even more infantile, and actually evil, is people who like to blame their shortcomings on other external things or other people, right? So they'll blame it on the white man, or they'll blame it on the system, or they'll blame it on the church. There's a whole lot of blame to go around for everybody. And so that's who they're blaming on. You know, the one person that they will not blame? Themselves. They'll never even take the time for 1 second and think, maybe it's me, especially if this is a problem that continues to happen in their lives. They never for 1 second think, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe your attitude is the problem. Nope. And it even gets worse than that. So I'm going to break this down and I'm going to make it easy for you, because there's only 2 sides of the coin here. Now, you could be determined or not. And that's really it. And there's 2 kinds of people that fall into those 2 camps. The people who are not determined are people who are, I'm going to call, quitters, losers. You'll find out in a second why I am that hard on them. And the other side, we're going to call winners, victors, overcomers. So let's go to the first side of that. Quitters, losers, and sometimes whiners. Quitters are the consummate programmed people in society. So when things don't go their way, they're going to either blame somebody else, blame external circumstances, then cry, whine, and moan and complain about it. They also, the very worst of them, because not all of them are the same. Some of them quit and then get depressed or whatever. And then somehow you're supposed to have sympathy for those people. I don't have sympathy for those people. I truly do not. But then you'll have people who go out there and be like, oh, that's okay, that's okay. No, it's not okay. Now you're enabling them in their weakness and telling them it's okay to be weak. Not good. It's okay to sit there and wallow. It's okay to sit there and feel sorry about yourself. No, I'm not going to do that to them. That doesn't do them any good. What you're doing is enabling them in their weakness, which is hate, and I'm not willing to do that. My whole call of this channel is to love people. So I'm going to give them a solution. This is the reason they will never reach their destination. Many times they don't even have a destination. But even if they have a destination, they put it down, and maybe they're a little disciplined, but hard things gonna come up, and then they're like surprised. Why is this? This is so hard. It's not supposed to be this hard. Oh, this is so unfair. Have you heard this before? This is kind of like the line of talk that they have all of the time. And notice something about these people. They never get anywhere. They never get anywhere. They are professional complainers. They are victims. And they kind of make a life out of being a victim. Having a, this has been popular for like the last 10 years or whatever. The victim mentality and the weakness that's coming out, especially from this generation, but the generation before it is what started it. The weakness is, wow, never seen anything like it. Never have I seen anything like it. Can't handle anything. Whine about everything. And then, hear me now, want to wear that victimhood as a badge and then expect you to give them sympathy for being a quitter, a loser, and a victim. What? Really? Well, not over here, because it doesn't do you any good. And I am not going to enable that kind of wickedness, because that's what that is. At the end of the day, it's really that simple. But then you have winners, victors, overcomers, and they look at things a little differently. When an obstacle pops up in life, and they always do, that's just the way life is, because they understand that. We live in this world, and we understand that we live in this world. From a theological perspective, we live in a sin-cursed world. So things are going to be difficult. It's just the way that it is. They understand that, even if they don't understand it on a theological level, they just understand it on a reality level. And instead of crying and whining and moaning and complaining and blaming, what they do is like, okay, it's time to get creative because this obstacle is in my way. How am I going to get around or through this obstacle? So in their minds, they want to pivot to get to their destination, because their destination is bigger than the obstacle. See, this is the problem with people today who are weak and they don't follow through. They make the obstacle bigger than their destination. I like what Zig Ziglar says about this. Now, he was a motivational speaker. You can go and find him on YouTube. Love the way that he put things. He was great. Listen to what he said. He said this: when obstacles arise, you change your direction to reach your goal. You do not change your decision to get there. That's the difference between a winner and a quitter. The quitter will quit. The winner will figure out a way around or through it. Because there is a way around or through it. Because again, the destination is bigger than the obstacle in their mind. And they're not afraid of difficulty. And difficulty teaches us things. You ever wonder why quitters are always going through the same problems over and over again? Because they've never learned. Because they don't look at difficulty as a teacher. While winners continue to progress and get better as individuals because they learn from their mistakes, or they learn from their difficulties. You know, most people aren't willing to do what is necessary to get to the destination that they have in mind. They like to dream, but they don't like to put a plan in action. And they're not willing to go through anything. And so they never get anywhere. And if any little itty bitty thing gets hard, and sometimes it's really hard. It is not saying that these things aren't hard and that life ain't difficult, because it is if you're living in the real world. But instead of just saying life is difficult, I just lay down and die, then winners will go in another direction and be like, nah, my destination is way more important, much more important. I like what the Bible has to say about this. And y'all know that's where I live. That's who I am. So, and listen to what it says in Galatians 6:9. I love this verse. It just gives you so much encouragement. Listen to this verse. And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Within determination are tenacity and perseverance. Both of those are working hand in hand so that determination breaks through. If you're not building those things up in your character, if you're not building up internal fortitude in your life, you'll never get anywhere. And then I don't want to hear you whining, because that is on you, how you spend your life. The great equalizer, folks, is time, because we all have 24 hours in a day. So what are you willing to do to have the life you want to have? It doesn't have to be grandiose. You don't have to have a lot of fame or whatever. But if there's certain things that you want in your life, what are you doing? What is the plan to get there, destination? Then what discipline are you willing to put in place by getting rid of distractions, stop doing things that you know are destructive? And is the thing that you're going after bigger than any difficulty that could pop up? These are questions that you need to ask about your life. It's all in the questioning, in the mindset of a quitter and a winner. It's all in the questioning. Obstacle pops up in life. The quitter is going to ask, why? And then they'll get narcissistic on you and be like, why me? And that is where they stay, in that moribund state. Why me? Then it starts spreading. It's like a malaise. And they start spreading to this person over here, and then they start complaining, and then they get their whole little group of complainers and all the rest. Never get anywhere. A winner asks a different question. Instead of asking why me, which will not help them get to their destination, they ask another question. How can I? That's the question. How can I get around this obstacle? How can I do this thing? What's a method that will help me get around this thing? See, they ask different questions. That mindset makes all the difference in the world when it comes to your life. So you can either live as a quitter and a loser and a victim, and watch yourself go nowhere and nowhere fast. And don't expect anybody to have sympathy because you made that decision. Or you can decide to be a winner. And that means you're going to be an overcomer. You're going to be a victor. You're going to ask different questions. You're not going to be afraid of difficulty. You're going to face it head on. You're going to build up that internal fortitude, and you're going to keep going. And you're going to get to your destination. Because, again, that is bigger than any obstacle or difficulty that pops up in life. I got one last quote for you. It's from John Maxwell. And This is all predicated on the reality of, well, you know, you have some kind of destination. And like I said in that video, if you don't have a destination, I mean, you haven't even started with the basics yet. But listen what he says here. A difficult time can be more readily endured if we retain the conviction that our existence holds a purpose, a cause to pursue, a person to love, a goal to achieve. Listen, I've already said it and I'm going to say it really quick right here. And I mean it. This is why RPG Elite Quality number 5 is so important. People who are quitters and victims and losers, get rid of those people. That stuff spreads. It spreads to your mind and your heart and your spirit. And you don't need those kind of people in your life. You need to get rid of those folks. Stop hanging around them. Discern and recognize who they are and limit that immediately. And you're going to find that if you surround yourself with people who are going to encourage you, with people who are going to challenge you, but people who are going to be there for you, that your destination will begin to get closer and closer and closer. And that's the truth, baby. Hey, if you got any value out of this video today, can you do me a solid, folks? A little favor. Could you go ahead and crush that like button right now? Also, if you want to stick around, I come out with videos every Tuesday and Friday, God willing. It's the first Tuesday of the month, so we always have our RPG Elite Philosophy video, even though that's probably going to go away here probably next year. I've been doing this for like 3 years now, so we're going to end up the whole RPG Elite Philosophy on first Tuesdays sometime in 2025. All right, folks, let's get to the question of the vid. Now, I've tied in, again, this golden chain of these 3 aspects that you need in order to get to your destination and all the rest of this stuff for life. All right, I have a question for you. I want you to put it in order from all 3 of these: destination, discipline, determination. Which one do you have the most problems with? And which one do you have the least problems with? I want you to put them in order. 3, 2, 1. Or I guess it would be 1, 2, 3. But the 1 is the one that you have the most problem with, and the one that you have the least problems with. And if you want to share why that's the case for you, share that down in the comment, because these videos and the comments on videos like these, I read almost every single one of them, as long as it's not TLDR, right? Because there are some TLDRs in there. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I just like, I'm not even gonna lie. I just skip right over those. You know, I'll read like the first paragraph and then I'll click and I'm like, oh my gosh, they've written a tome here. So you better write something extremely compelling in order for me to read the whole thing. All right, folks. Well, that's going to be it for me in this video. It has been awesome and fantastic. And my prayer is that this video helps you. That's the whole point. And I know your Uncle Service, he's a little rough sometimes. Stop being weak. Stop that. Gosh. Stop that. Start building up some internal fortitude. You can do this. Stop hanging around those people who are telling you that you can't, or there's somebody else to blame or whatever. Even if there is, you shouldn't let it stop you from getting to your destination. All right, that's enough for me going in on that. It's time for a brother to do his snaggle puss.
So exit, stage left.
Hey folks, if you've got a game going on this week, then happy gaming. I pray that it is an RPG Elite session that is more immersive, enjoyable, and meaningful. So until next time, God willing, folks, it's me. Hey, it's Servant of Shiloh, getting ready to get out of the hizzy and say peace. 5,000 leets. Yeah, that means I am gone.